I ended up writing a popular article for The Conversation, which is an online magazine. Quite a short article, really. It was about examples of scientists being misled in the history of science. But I wasn't trying to say that we shouldn't trust science or something. I was just saying these examples are actually quite rare. But scientists are occasionally misled by the evidence. So this was picked up by somebody at NASA Goddard, surprisingly, who had been casting around on the internet looking for somebody who maybe had a different way of looking at things. And they were curious about the possibility that they were being misled by evidence in exoplanet science, generally speaking. So maybe we're looking at the wrong planets to find life, for example, or maybe what looks like a biosignature isn't a biosignature, or what looks like it isn't life, it is life, or something like that. So could they be being misled? And so they read this article and they ended up inviting me out there to NASA Goddard, and I gave this talk. So this led to me writing an article in the International Journal of Astrobiology called Expecting the Unexpected in the Search for Extraterrestrial Life, where I explore ways in which we might go about identifying unexpected phenomena or not missing things. Scientists always have their biases. Everybody has their biases in pursuing things. If you expect certain things, then you're going to have certain strategies designed around those expectations. But sometimes those biases lead you astray. So this article is exploring ways in which you might avoid that. And one way is perhaps to have a balanced portfolio of projects in the scientific community. So the majority of your projects are going to be what you might call low-risk projects, sometimes called low-risk, low-reward. You know the project's going to succeed. It's not trying to do anything groundbreaking, but it's going to make an incremental change in our pursuit of knowledge. Then you've got high risk, high reward at the other end. And these are the projects you do expect to fail. But you want to make sure you're funding a certain number of these. One of the problems there is that because you expect most of them to fail, that looks bad when they've been to the funder, perhaps, when they've been funded and then they fail. And somebody somewhere will say, why didn't you fund my project? My project was a sure thing. It was going to go somewhere interesting. But you funded this project and it failed. And what the funder would say is, well, I want to fund maybe 10 of these, and only one will succeed, but then it will give us these high rewards. This is sort of the balanced portfolio idea, that you put most of your funding into safe projects, but you do want to put some funding into the high-risk projects. And maybe you want some in between as well, which is sort of medium risk, medium reward. So some funders are exploring this idea that they're going to pursue this balanced portfolio, and that might actually change the way in which some of these funders approach funding scientific projects. It's not just about the project in front of you for the funder. It's about funding this portfolio. So these ideas brought me into contact with the UK Centre for Astrobiology up in Edinburgh, and I gave a talk up there, and several of the scientists there wanted to then collaborate on a bigger project, which is looking at exploring high-risk strategies in contemporary astrobiology. So we've just put in a proposal for a big project to one of the funders, and we're waiting to hear back on whether that will be successful. So fingers crossed.